Hi there, my lovelies. This is Jana here. Welcome to my channel. So don't you think that this year has flown away? It's Easter already, and for this reason I brought to you a recipe that is to die for. It's babka, which is a bread, and it's filled with a hazelnut and chocolate cream, and it is delicious. As you know, because I keep repeating here, I am not a fan of chocolate, but on this recipe, boy, this is good. So, and it couldn't be easier to make, but the way it's put together, it's so beautiful, it's so fancy. It's unexpected, and it's just in time for Easter. And we start by adding flour to a bowl, a little bit of salt, some white sugar, and instant yeast. Now I have something to say about yeast. We tend to think that the more yeast you add to the bread, the more your bread is going to raise. It is a myth, because what happens is if you add too much yeast, it's going to inflate, and after a while it's going to deflate. And it's going to be like a really thick and dense and not good at all. So the right amount of yeast is crucial to any bread making recipe. And in this case here is 5.5 grams. And you can increase a little bit if you're increasing the recipe. I mean, if you're adding more flour and stuff. But try to skip with the measurements. That is going to be, by the way, all written down in the description box as well as on my website. So, I am pretty intuitive when it comes to cooking. I rarely, when I'm cooking for myself, measure things, but when it comes to baking, you have to. So this is the exception to the rule that we must follow. And all right, along with that, we're going to add vegan melted butter. Now, if you want a good recipe for a vegan butter, click over there, because I have a very good one for you with variations. Hello. And all right, now we're going to mix everything together. It's going to become like a very nice Play-Doh. It is a little bit sticky. So we're going to now knead it, and we're going to develop the gluten, and then it's going to be very good. But there's also another exception. It depends. Every bread turns out different because of where you live, because of the temperature, because of a lot of variations. So sometimes it's a little bit more flour than the recipe calls, and that sometimes is a little bit less. But you will feel, and the consistency, it's supposed to be just like I'm about to show you. So now that everything is set, now we're going to cover it with my super shower cap. Oil it a little bit so it doesn't form a hard skin, so you oil it a little bit. And we're going to cover with my super shower cap that I keep in my kitchen, because I don't want to keep using cling films, because it's a waste. So I keep one here, use it all the time, and washing it good, and it's good as new. So let it rest for 45 minutes to 50 minutes. Alright, so now that everything is done, we're going to proceed to open this dough, and we're going to make like a rectangle. And if you're not familiar with baking, I must confess, I'm not a frequent baker, so you can have some difficulties, but just trust, you can do it. You keep rolling it and you keep spreading the dough in a surface, and it's going to be okay. This bread is very forgiving. It looks very difficult, but it's very forgiving. Now we're going to spread the chocolate hazelnut spread. Just be careful to leave the borders like a 1 or 2 centimeters, because we're going to roll it. All right, and now we're going to roll it really tight. And the more you roll it, the more layers you're going to see at the end of the bread. And that is the beauty of this bread. So be patient. Okay, it could be messy if you don't have that much intimacy with this kind of baking, but trust, is going to be all right at the end.
it was bound to happen, 'cause your heart is caving in. So why you bother? This is nothing you can run from.
And now we're going to bake it for 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. And this is it. If your oven is too strong, make sure to put an aluminum foil on top so it doesn't get too dark brown and the hazelnut doesn't dry out. I had to do that. Some people might like it because it was crunchy, but I wanted to see all that glossy shine from the hazelnut and the chocolate spread. But here's the tip.
Promises we're making, the rules we keep breaking, and the moment we're off it, we try so hard to stop it.
Now, how about this? Isn't it just beautiful? There's half missing because I couldn't resist. It was delicious. I mean, seriously, it was one of the best things I've had. It was warm when I cut it. It was fantastic. Just make it. Your family is going to love it. Kids are going to go crazy over it, and it looks like $1 million, doesn't it? So if you do, you know what to do, don't you? Of course you do. You're gonna tag me on Instagram and Facebook because I love when you do that. I love when you add your spin to my creations, my recipes. It gets me super proud of you. And that's it. And did I tell you make it? Yeah, because you're going to. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media. It's going to be linked over here. Don't forget to subscribe to my website because if you do, you're gonna get a free ebook. How about that? Awesome, isn't it? And have a fabulous week. Take care of each other. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.